I mean reading, but also reaping. Also, people actually signed this shitty excuse for a treaty, meaning the alternative must have been much worse. And the movie doesn't even have the courtesy to enlighten us about the horrifying alternative that was avoided by this horrifying agreement.
It's your first year, Prim. Your name's only been in there once. They're not gonna pick you.
Premature false hopelation.
I'll still cook you.
Preparing a meal without considering that DJ Khaled wouldn't eat it. Dear gaming god in hunger heaven, was every movie in the early teens this into shaky handheld shots? Can't focus on the poverty through the sound of my own nausea. Thanks a lot, Born Identity.
It was the first deer I've seen in a year. Now I have nothing.
Katniss losing this game seems devastating, but Gale solves the problem by throwing a rock to scare some birds. A tactic that you'd think Katniss could have come up with on her own. I mean, she did the leaf wind thing to track that deer earlier, and that seemed to take a hell of a lot more skill. Because killing is fun. DC isn't ruining one of its most important franchise characters in this scene.
And may the odds be ever in your favor.
I'm honestly surprised there isn't some Hunger Games fandom movement to have all the odd-numbered days in May as some sort of bullshit Hunger Games holidays. I already can't get through May the 4th without Star Wars fans invading the cultural consciousness. Might as well destroy the rest of the month as well.
That's a mockingjay.
From this point forward, everyone will treat this pin as if it is special, but nobody will explain why.
You better tuck in that tail, little duck.
Ducks do not tuck in their tails, so you and your pet names for your sister can just tuck off.
It's a mockingjay pin. To protect you.
And also to use as a metaphorical through line for the story, just in case we're actually in a movie and need some powerful moments later. I get that the realities of society are often less than ideal, and perhaps this is the future equivalent of some Nordic country, but District 12 is very white. Like, super, super white.
War. Terrible war.
Gale would be excellent at silent propaganda sins. Also, propaganda's position is barely a stone's throw away from news position, and I'm sending it as such.
Widows, orphans, a motherless child.
What? Just one motherless child? Was President Snow's speechwriter just naming off things they saw on the video, like Brick from Anchorman?
The lone victor, bathed in riches, would serve as a reminder of our generosity and our forgiveness.
I don't know, maybe this all complies with the logic that's been set up in the story, but it doesn't absolve the writers for thinking that this is what kids think that adults think. I think.
I volunteer as tribute!
How the CinemaSins writers' assignments are handed out for the Fast and Furious movies somehow makes it into the script.
And now, for the boys.
Let's hear it for the boy!
You have 3 minutes.
3 minutes? You either go with 1 minute or a solid 5. This really is a dystopian future.
To protect you?
Regifting a gift back to the person who gifted it to you.
Time.
No, it's not. It's been exactly 83 seconds. I know you guys are dicks, but this seems more like the screenwriter didn't understand how long
3 minutes.
was than a testament to your assholitude. Sorry, miss. I was instructed to allow your friend in for exactly 20 seconds just to remind the audience that they're supposed to be thinking about you two as a potential couple, because how else are they supposed to be invested? But he really has to go now.
Hey, Mitch.
Her name is Katniss, and hey yourself, pretty boy.
You know, Katniss, he is our mentor. He did win this thing once.
Katniss was literally sitting there silent before this statement, so I don't see why PETA is acting like she just said Haymitch can go f*** himself.
I just don't think there's anything wrong with getting a little bit of help.
That line felt slightly less forced than the insertion of this flashback, so they must have some sort of shared memory, I guess? Hart and Mentor has a drinking problem, but through coaching a young protege, they find something worth living for, cliché. Putting your nasty bare foot within 6 inches of someone's food intake port. Detachable collars were a thing once, and I view this scene as an open threat of their return. Oh my god, can we just get to Hogwarts already?
Oh, Joy. Why don't you join us?
Her name is Katniss, and she'll join when she is good and ready, asshole.
Can you pass the marmalade?
So we know thanks to both Prim and Gale that Katniss can hunt, but nothing about that information justifies her being capable of this table stabbing between the fingers trick. And if she's this much of a weapons expert, then she's a dick for not volunteering sooner.
And to get sponsors, you have to make people like you.
Influencer culture. Also, a movie will now use this Haymitch is irritable but actually wise moment to spoon-feed us some more exposition about a convoluted sponsorship program that allows rich people to send you soup. Is the future even dystopian without brutalist architecture? I don't know, but this movie sure isn't going to let us find out. Plucking a stray eyebrow from your neighbor's eye before thinking of taking the plank from your own. The idea that society would not progress past leg waxing both conceptually and technologically.
The importance of this moment cannot be overstated.
But as with everything in this movie, we will give it our best shot at overstating it anyway.
First chariot on my count at 15, 14, 13.
Starting a countdown at 15.
And don't you love how the stylists, they so clearly are able to reflect the character of each district?
Seems more like they've chosen to reflect the character of Cirque du Soleil, but if you say so.
What is that in the background?
This part of the movie will now pretend that no one has seen fire before. This place is about to lose its mind because of a few flames.
Now see that? I love that. Two young people holding their hands up, saying, I'm proud I come from District 12. We will not be overlooked. No. I love that.
Thank God Stanley Tucci is here to explain this, because I had no idea why anyone would care about this. Before you survive the Hunger Games, your shins must survive this bed frame.
In 2 weeks, 23 of you will be dead. 1 of you will be alive.
Thanks for clarifying. I was worried that one person was going to occupy a quantum superposition.
Most of you will die from natural causes. 10% from infection, 20% from dehydration.
The trainer gives us only enough statistics to account for 30%, so maybe this percentage is exclusive instead of inclusive. Either way, it's confusing.
Exposure can kill as easily as a knife.
Bringing a knife to an exposure fight. This is the easiest game of memory ever. They aren't even turning over the cards. Also, she's not even touching matches here to begin with, just randomly picking shapes as if she doesn't even know CinemaSins exists. Also, the real superpower skill here is that she is using this precise touchscreen in front of her by looking at the giant monitor.
Chase, where's my knife? Huh?
These two get into a fight over a missing knife, so we can all chuckle when we find out Rue stole it, not because this place only has one knife.
My father buys her squirrels. He says she hits him right in the eye every time.
Well, that's just mean. You'd think shooting them with the arrow would be enough abuse. According to Katniss, Peeta can throw a 100-pound sack of flour over his head, but this flashback shows him unable to throw this bread far enough that maybe Katniss could catch it, so I'm calling bullshit on the whole flour thing. Also, burning the bread this badly on just one side of the loaf. How do you even do that? I might honestly be Team Peeta's mom on this one. Putting out a big spread like this, as if all the food isn't going to be cold before they even finish the amuse-bouche. 3 bullseyes in a row? This training montage has real Rocky IV, we've created the ultimate weapon, I will break you vibes. Which is fine when you're a cheesy 80s movie, but a bit over the top 30 years later.
Throw that metal thing over there.
What?
I know, right? Be more specific, Katniss. There are several metal things all over this place. You barely nodded a general direction with your head and also gave no indication of where to throw whatever metal thing you all of a sudden think you should throw. This is pointless and non-specific advice, and as such, Katniss is a terrible human being.
Those guys are looking at you like you're a meal.
Pretending as if Josh Hutcherson were not a dish.
How did you do that?
I used to decorate the cakes down at the bakery.
Yeah, I'm sure the demand in District 12 for handcrafted tree bark cakes is through the roof. Also, I've seen the Great British Bake Off, so I'm not going to say that cake decoration isn't a skill to be respected. But now the movie is claiming that your ability to handle fondant also makes you a proficient special effects makeup artist. That's like saying a mirror glaze is the same as icing. Geez, what is District 3 doing wrong? The 4'8", 65-pound 12-year-old from District 4 has better odds than both of their tributes? Get on the ball, 3. Also, a moment ago, Rue's odds were 60-1, and now they're 7-1. I'm not saying this is impossible, but that would also have to mean something interesting happened off screen, and one would think that a movie exceeding 2 hours could have found a little time to include this. Most people think you can tell an expert by their precision and accuracy, but in movies, you can always tell the expert because they miss first to provide some false tension, skill-doubting bullshit that they can then overcome.
Who ordered this cake? Who ordered this cake?
I'm not sure which is more unbelievable. The angle on this shot from below, pinning the apple to the wall directly across from the pig's mouth, or that these high-powered men wouldn't have a single bit of security or protection from a rogue contestant who wanted to take them out.
From District 1, Marvel, the score of 9.
I'm not sure that score should be valid. I've heard this one may have access to some compound V.
Katniss Everdeen with a score of 11.
This one goes to 11 cliché.
She shot an arrow at your head.
Well, at an apple.
I mean, there are asshole connotations in both cases, so semantics.
This kind of thing does happen at this point. There's only one winner, right?
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Haymitch is foreshadowing so hard here, you can see the future knowledge sauce dripping off his chin. 50% of this audience is wearing hats, and 100% of those hats are obstructing someone's view.
You know her as the girl on fire!
But wasn't Peeta on fire as well? Do people know him as the boy on fire? What's with the blazing discrimination? For a society that uses forced child murder as entertainment, they sure are entertained by the simplest things, huh? Katniss spins around a few times with some fire effects, and the crowd acts like M just dropped new finishing bars on Papa Doc.
Showers. Yes. We have different showers.
Look, this shower conversation is weird, inane, and over the top, but somehow Stanley Tucci is selling it like he's doing Shakespeare on Broadway. I can't help it. I love him in this. 1 cent off for the Tooch. Olfactophilia.
He made you look desirable, which in your case can't hurt, sweetheart.
Wait, what? She got a pre-score of 11 out of 12. The evaluators loved her, and the audience was eating up everything she put in front of them with a flaming spoon. Why is he acting like she's in trouble with the sponsors? Also, Haymitch has now called Katniss sweetheart at least 5 times.
Sweetheart, 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 sweetheart.
Is it that he's sexist? Or is it that he's an asshole? Both? Well, I don't know. So here's 5 cents for repetition.
I'm sorry I went after you.
That's funny because I'm not at all sorry that I'm about to skip.
They'll put all kinds of stuff right in front, right in the mouth of the cornucopia.
Haymitch waits until the last second to give Katniss these instructions so that the audience can get some last-second structural exposition. Thanks, Haymitch.
Katniss, you can do this.
Movie never really addresses the fact that Haymitch had to be encouraging to both Katniss and Peeta, and in doing so was encouraging both of them to kill each other. And an examination of what that does to a person would have been more interesting than pretty much everything else we've seen so far. I'm just glad no one checks the clothing for any contraband in this overproduced, down-to-the-last detail reality show. I mean, it's kind of strange, but it sure comes in handy for situations like this. The movie takes 1 hour, 7 minutes, and 18 seconds to officially Hunger Game. But at least the sequels will focus more on the Hunger Gaming, right? Right?
50. 49.
This 50-second countdown will take 57 seconds.
42. 41. 40.
They're using voice augmentation. Because he's a child. Oh, hey, it's that Gale asshole. Remember him? Trying to figure out anything that is going on in this melee through this quick-cut, shaky cam bullshit. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are dying and such, and that a lot of people are wearing black. That's about as far as I've gotten so far. Katniss creates a trap and has a squirrel roasting on a fire within the first few hours of being in the wilderness, and that's just some insane survivaling speed. I've seen Naked and Afraid. I know what butts look like. I mean, I know how long that stuff can take. Also, taking the time to cook a meal on your first night in the wild when the sounds, smells, and sights could lead to your murder. This person will now use a pen to project a symbol onto a holographic map that will apparently start the montage of the fallen, as opposed to, pressing a button. We don't feel bad for any of these kids because the movie gave them no dialogue and little, if any, screen time.
That's actually a good impression.
I get that these kids have been trained for this, but were they also picked because they are psychopaths? Militaries train their grown adult soldiers pretty well, and they still get all kinds of fucked up from having to take lives. So this jokey, haha, we did a murder bullshit seems a bit unlikely. I get using the fire to force the tributes together so they have to fight each other. However, killing your star player with a fireball to the face seems like it might negatively affect your ratings.
She's heading towards the left flank.
Okay. Can you give me a tree right there?
Fancy Beard said, "Can you give me a tree?" Can you give me a tree? Also, would this amount of interference and control be fair to the betting markets? Would you bet on a basketball game if the producers were like, okay, the Warriors are winning by too much, let's give Boston a 9-foot hoop and go? This idiot tries to climb a tree with a sword in hand, and upon failing one time, doesn't think to put the sword in a sword pocket and maybe try again. These trained assassins stand directly beneath a giant target and shoot arrows straight up into the air instead of backing up 50 yards and having a clean shot. Is there a reason to apply pressure like this to a burn, other than causing yourself more pain? Movie accidentally gives Jeffrey Bezos the idea for drone deliveries, and giving Jeffrey Bezos ideas is always a sin. Convenient tracker-jacker nest is convenient. Oh, and convenient rue in a neighboring tree to point it out is also convenient.
For those of you who don't know,
This movie has a built-in exposition factory, and it's honestly really not fair to the other movies who have to earn it. And now Katniss will fall down in the exact same area she dropped the nest mere seconds ago. Are the angry tracker-jackers only interested in going after the people in the area that the plot needs them to?
The venom of a tracker-jacker's sting
can produce powerful hallucination.
Why would Katniss be hallucinating exposition from Caesar Flickerman? I mean, this doesn't even serve the viewer, because we just saw him deliver the same information a few minutes ago. Letting your candles burn unevenly.
How long was I asleep?
A couple of days. I changed your leaves twice.
And her clothes too, right? From the urination and such that would happen if you were truly out that long. Also, how did they stay out of harm's way that long? If they went full force fire Hadouken on her ass for trying to hang out on the outskirts, why would they just let these two chill for 2 days with no consequences? That's terrible television.
We need a signal in case one of us gets held up.
Okay, like what?
Here, watch this.
I noticed your pin is the exact bird that I can just hum a tune into the air, and there's always one around to repeat it back to me immediately and echo it through the forest. Can you believe it?
I want to see if she's going to figure out this booby trap.
Caesar and the cast of Saved by the Bell actually thought these poorly buried mines would fool anyone, putting bombs all around and judging by the explosion also inside your stuff, then being upset when those very bombs blow your stuff up. No, not Rue. I was fine with all the other bodies, but killing Rue is unacceptable. Am I sinning the movie for making me feel the exact things it wants me to? Yes. Yes, I am. Because it's fucking Rue, damn it. Super nice of the remaining tributes to give Katniss the time to honor Rue with this decorative memorial space. What a kind and understanding bunch of psychopaths they are. 1 full minute of disorienting rebellion porn.
This could get away from you.
What do you want?
Haymitch is apparently able to get an audience with whatever character is required to push the plot along.
There are lots of underdogs. And I think if you could see them, you would not root for them either.
Scene ends like President Snow's statement didn't need any further explanation. Where is Caesar Flickerman when you need him?
The regulations requiring a single victor have been suspended. From now on, 2 victors may be crowned if both originate from the same district.
And a hearty fuck you to all the districts who have already lost one of their tributes, and also to those at home who have bet on today's festivities.
Oh my God, Peter!
Movie waits until the hour 47 mark to officially become a comedy. Seriously, let's think about what had to happen for Peter to accomplish this. While injured, he had to find a perfect location that fit his body, find all the supplies needed to camouflage him into this exact environment, lay down in this crevice, then move all the supplies on top of him and apply this texture and tone, perfect makeup job with no possible way to even see what he was doing or the end result. But sure, he nails it because Cake Boss. Movie cannot convince me that this is proper first aid. Hell, I wouldn't believe wringing out this rag into a wound is right even if a doctor told me to do it. Oh hey, it's that Gale asshole again. Remember him? It's like he's contractually obligated to show up every 50 minutes and not say anything because this movie is going to find a way to love triangle if it kills itself to make it happen. Which it almost does.
I think about that all the time. How I tossed you that bread.
Peter.
I should have gone to you.
In case you think this negates my previous sin about the bread tossing, I would like to clarify that the issue was not the act of tossing, but his weak-ass throw.
After that, I watched you going home every day. Every day.
I mean, I wasn't going to call you a creepy stalker until you whispered every day, you creepy stalker.
There's no way I'm letting you go.
The power of boners convinces Peeta that he wants to die of an infection. Instead of grabbing everyone's gift, D5 girl only grabs her own like she isn't even trying to win this thing. Katniss misses 2 point-blank arrow shots because she sucks at archery, but only when the plot requires it. I'd tell you who was winning this fight if I could fucking see anything.
Yeah, well, we killed her. And now, we're gonna kill you.
But only after we monologue for a bit so our plans can be thwarted. You know, movie villain rules as they are and such. Sensually caressing someone's open wounds. Who directed this, Cronenberg?
That's Nightlock, Peter! You'll be dead in a minute!
Remind me again why I want Katniss to end up with either one of these doofuses.
What are you doing?
Maybe Cato likes berries too.
Sure, but he's probably not going to accept these as a gift, and nobody wants berries that look this stepped on.
Why is it getting so dark?
Must be in a hurry to end it.
Sure, either that or they're about to introduce a computer-generated dog creature whose lame creature design they need to hide.
Did you hear that?
Any suspense that could be had from not knowing what's out there was immediately killed by our hologram reveal of the random beast now stalking them. So instead of being worried, the audience is now just waiting for the thing to attack them. Having Thresh be eaten off screen because he cared about Rue and saved Katniss that one time. 2 things that must mean he's a good guy, and so our good guys couldn't possibly kill another good guy. That would create nuanced feelings. She just creates these demon dogs out of thin air, and you can claim advanced technology all you want, but I'm still going to counter by claiming the law of conservation of matter. Also, Peeta is then able to outrun a genetically modified super beast while running on an injured leg. Even after using the super healing lip balm, he should not be faster than Thresh would have been with 2 good legs. Cato does this to build suspense instead of taking the easy win by just pushing them off the cornucopia.
Stop! Stop!
Look, we've seen them create fires and dogs and change rules however they see fit. And you're telling me they can't just rustle up some other contrivance to make sure these 2 can't pull a Romeo and Juliet? For that matter, isn't that a better ending to the show? People would talk about that shit forever. My point is, we're supposed to believe that Katniss and Peeta just outwitted the game, but I think the game just gave up because the movie needed to end.
You saved my life.
We saved each other.
Ladies and gentlemen, the star-crossed lovers from District 12.
This celebrity couple's name is Penis.
I'm having a bad trip! We're having a bad trip!
It was me.
It was me!
Fine, laugh at me.
They're all gonna laugh at you!
Next. Give it here, Malfoy.
But freedom has a cost.
Freedom costs a buckle.
What's your name?
I'm Batman.
You shadow! I hate you! I hate you!
Do I smell like roses to you?
No judgment. It's fine. I was gay once, for a while.
You definitely smell better than I do.
Well, I've lived here longer.
An astute observation has led to laughter.
Previously on Big Brother.
You're crazy. You're crazy, man. You're crazy. I like you. But you're crazy.
We need a signal in case one of us gets held up.
Okay, like what?
Here, watch this.
God, how do they walk away in movies without flinching when it explodes behind them? There's no way! I call bullshit on that!